Okay, here we are, the Nest, episode 3. It's just Jackson and I today. Colton could not be here, but that's all right. He'll be back next week. And today we're going to talk about Halloween, right?
It's the season.
'Tis the season
Spooky season.
to be spooky.
Oh, yes.
So, we wanted to start with Halloween costumes today, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite Halloween costume?
I like a Halloween costume that is simple,
Okay.
easy to recognize, and just enjoyable.
Are you more a fan of like homemade costumes or
I
going
love
out
a
and buying
homemade
one?
costume.
Yeah.
As much as I love wasting hours in a spirit Halloween, there's nothing like thinking of something on the fly and just rolling with it.
That's true.
As you can see, we're very festive for today,
Absolutely.
wearing nothing Halloween related,
Not at all.
but that's okay. What was one of your favorite Halloween costumes that you did when you were younger?
Growing up, I think my first ever Halloween, I did not have a choice, obviously, in what I wore. My mom chose for me, but I was Buzz Lightyear,
Really?
and I really like looking back on that picture. I will say, though, my favorite Halloween costume was Lady Gaga. 2012, 8th grade for me.
Sounds about right. That's
Yeah.
when she was on the rise.
It was a fun time. I looked more like a Hannah Montana, I think, than a Lady Gaga.
Were you like a fame monster, like a poker face kind of, with like the blonde wig and
Blonde
like the weird
wig.
glasses?
Blonde wig, had the sunglasses. I had really tight black leather pants
Ooh.
and a black jacket to go with it.
Yeah, that sounds like some fame monster era
Yeah.
Lady Gaga. My first Halloween costume, again, didn't really have much of a say, but I was a pumpkin.
Ooh,
And I was a pudgy baby, so I was a good-looking pumpkin, nice and round.
nice.
One of my favorite Halloween costumes, though, when I was in 5th grade, I was a pirate, and my mom put eyeliner on me,
Oh.
so I would look like Jack Sparrow. So that was a good time. But one of my favorites is I was a wizard one year.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore like just like a black cloak. I had a wizard hat, and I had like this gray long beard. And I actually got to help my mom sew on some like stars onto my cape. So it was a
Ooh.
little homemade.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. It was fun. I
Very
love
unique.
Halloween.
Yeah, me too. Did you ever delve into the superhero theme, superhero costumes?
I never personally
Never?
did.
I feel like everyone has dressed up as a superhero at least once.
I think I was a Power Ranger one year, but that's
counts.
That's as far as I went.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never dove too deep into it. I'm more of a, I don't know. I'm more of like a, I don't know.
If you had to dress up this year, what do you think you would be?
Well, I'm a big fan of group costumes.
Oh, okay.
I believe there's strength in numbers. So my friends and I were talking about maybe doing like Pokemon, where we all
Oh.
just kind of have like someone dress up as a trainer.
Sure.
And then everyone else just kind of goes off and like bees a Pokemon.
Yeah,
So you just have like 7 people together, and you have like your party of 6.
that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
You have your Pikachus. I feel like Pikachu's the most popular Pokemon. Who else could you be?
Charizard's always a
Charizard's,
good choice.
Jigglypuff.
Oh, Jigglypuff.
Someone could be a Pokeball. That would be a fun costume.
That would be fun. I remember, I think it was last Halloween. A big group of my friends, they were all crayons. So there was one guy. He was the crayon box we had on this big box costume, and then everyone else was just like red shirt and like a cute little hat. And it's like, oh, I'm the red crayon, and then someone's like, oh, I'm the purple crayon. I feel like that's a good one. I love group costumes.
Yeah, you have the
I
whole
think,
box.
Yeah, and I think couple costumes are pretty cool too when
Yeah.
go together. Like I remember one year my parents went to this Halloween party, and they were my dad was a pharaoh, and then my mom was Cleopatra.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the family costumes too, like the Incredibles I've seen.
Those are always cool.
Yeah, those are cool. Star Wars, you can do
Mhm.
pairs with that. Han Solo, Princess Leia. Yeah, there's a whole multitude of things. What about candy?
Halloween candy. I mean, personally, my favorite candy. I'm more of a chocolate guy, so I like
Okay.
Kit Kats.
Ooh,
I like Milky Ways. I like Snickers.
I'm a Three Musketeers fan. It's my favorite candy, I
Three
think.
Musketeers is pretty fire.
Yeah.
Candy corn, yay or nay?
Yay.
I
I'd say
actually
yay.
enjoy candy corn too. It's not my first choice, but
Yeah.
candy's candy.
Yeah,
If
but
you need
just
that
just
sugar
the
high,
OG candy corn, not the like chocolate candy corn or like mint they make.
Really?
Yeah, I just like the straight up yellow, orange. No, white, orange. White, orange, yellow.
Orange, yellow, white. Are you going top to bottom or bottom
I
top?
was just saying the three colors that are in candy corn.
I think it's yellow, white, orange. Or it could be orange, yellow.
Let's fact check
Fact check.
ourselves here. Candy corn, Googling, and it is actually it's just yellow, orange, yellow. Right?
No, there's white in there.
You know what? It's white at the tip.
It's white at the tip?
Yep. Google Images right now is showing me some very nice candy corn underwear, if that's your thing.
Oh, it is white at the top.
Yeah, I see a candy corn blazer also. That's pretty cool.
Goes to show you how long I've had. How long it's been since
Since
I've
we-
had candy corn. Oh my goodness.
Wow. What about Halloween movies? What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Halloween movies.
I feel like there's so many to choose from.
There is a lot to choose from.
Because you could go really spooky, like
Mhm.
those rated R, like Halloween, Michael Myers type movies, or you could go kind of like kid friendly. Monster House is pretty spooky, but
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town. Did you see those movies?
I did growing up.
I
yeah.
grew up with those. They were my favorite, I think.
I think one of my favorites growing up, there used to be it was with a witch. I forget the name of it. It was with a
Oh.
witch, and it was about a little girl, and her big brother was like me, and she leaves her at like this house that was haunted with all these monsters. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No?
That's wacky though.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Halloween movie for sure.
Yeah, I forget what it was called. I think it was
Do you know who was in it?
called Scary Godmother.
No. Wow.
No, never heard of it?
Probably flew under my radar. I should preface that with saying I'm not a huge horror fan. I don't really like scary movies.
Oh, it was an animated movie. It wasn't scary. It was definitely for the kids.
Have you seen Coraline though?
I love
Coraline's an animated movie.
Coraline is a good movie.
That terrifies me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Coraline's actually it's a good thriller. It's a lot deeper
Yeah.
for a kids movie than like
Definitely.
you'd actually think. And that's something I actually love about movies is how deep you can kind of go into them.
Yeah.
And you can view it for just face value as a form of entertainment, but there's
Sure.
also so much meaning behind every little
There's so
thing.
many layers to peel back.
And
Yeah.
it's especially interesting with kids' movies because at the surface it looks like just pure entertainment, but
Right.
there was a reason behind every little thing that happened, and that's
Yeah.
why a lot of people bring up like those innuendos that occur
Sure.
for that are for adults when they go to see the movies.
Definitely. Especially with animation too. You were talking about how everything is a choice. It's all deliberately
Mhm.
put in there. And that's because with animation, you're not filming anything. You have to create everything from scratch, which is just, I can't even imagine. As comm majors, too, in media production, like, I don't know how I would ever animate.
It's a
a
lot of
short
work.
film or-
Looks like a lot of work.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Halloween music. Safe to say, the most iconic songs are Thriller, Michael Jackson,
Mhm.
Monster Mash.
Monster Mash.
That's the one. Yeah. What about Halloween parties? Have you been to a lot of Halloween parties?
I have been to a handful of Halloween parties.
That's always fun.
They're spooky. They're
Yeah.
a good time. It's really cool to see a lot of people's costumes
Yeah.
when they attend parties because it's not so much about going for just trying to look good for some candy. You're trying to look good compared to everybody, so there's a little bit of a competition that happens,
Yeah.
and it's cool because some Halloween parties actually have like costume contests. So if you were to be a judge for a costume contest, what kind of costumes would you be looking at? High tier versus low tier.
Ooh. I think I would definitely take note of who made their costumes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see a lot more creativity in those custom costumes. Although you do see a lot of really bad homemade costumes too.
Yeah, you
so
do.
You have to be careful with that. If I was judging, I would also keep track of the trends. Maybe so for this year, for example, we were talking a little bit off camera about how superheroes like Spider-Man and Captain Marvel have really become popular. So maybe take note of who is dressed up as them. Do we have too many Captain Marvels, too many Spider-Men at our party? What else? I think I would rule out some of the more generic costumes, like vampires. I think that's a little easy and overdone. But yeah, I think I would be looking more for those unique costumes.
Do you like a scary costume, or do you like a just like a casual, like more cool costume?
No preference. I think just whatever stands out to me is what I would probably vote for as top costume, best costume. Although I will say I'm not a huge fan of the really bloody. Like, have you ever seen those fake blood
Oh yeah,
masks like for
and they have like
Scream
the
and they
pumps.
squeeze it? That
Mm-hmm.
freaks me out.
Yeah, that's
But
it's
it's a little
a
spooky.
little spooky, but I
But
mean
it
it's all in
works.
good
It is
taste.
Halloween, so
Yeah.
it's fitting, I suppose.
I remember in elementary school we would dress up for Halloween, and then they would take us all outside and we would do like a walk.
Yeah,
And just so like you could see everyone's costume, and it was really fun. So it was a really inviting atmosphere for you to dress up and
right.
kind of really do whatever, and you can like show it off to all your friends,
Did your
all the
school?
other kids in other classes.
Yeah, did your school have any rules about that though? I know my school didn't allow masks.
Yeah,
Or I think capes too. That wasn't allowed for some reason.
really.
Yeah.
Capes were okay, but they were not a big fan of masks. So like you could still bring in your mask,
Mhm.
and they would let you wear it at certain points.
Okay.
But you couldn't. So, for example, if you were Batman, right?
Right.
And like he has that cowl,
Mhm.
they would make you take it off, like when you were in like the hallway and stuff like that, and like during classes.
Mm.
But like at like the party, like for classes was having a Halloween party, it was up to
Right.
kind of like the teacher whether they were okay with you putting it on and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I remember one of the craziest costumes I saw is in elementary school, some kid was the headless horseman. So he had this huge like pullover headless horseman like thing. So he was like a short kid. He was he was only a kid, so he was kind of small.
Yeah.
But he had this huge it kind of reminded me of like football pads, but like stacked on top of each other. So he had his arms like this, and it was just this build up, and then like this headless aspect.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And his head was like actually like in like the chest.
Oh.
So like he had it open slightly so he could like see out, but like
could you see him? Or no?
kinda,
Yeah.
not really.
That's pretty
it was
cool,
hard for him
though.
to see
Yeah, I can imagine. Especially walking around school.
with no head.
That's funny. What else? I'm trying to think. If you had to pick the most iconic costume you've seen, what's a costume that you've seen the most of that you think is really overdone? Like I said, for me, it's vampires.
For me, I feel like it's devils.
Devils?
Just because it's another easy one. I think
Yeah.
a lot of girls are just like, oh, I want to be a devil, and then they
Right,
just
right.
throw on like a cute little red outfit,
Get the horns.
get the horns, and then you're done. Same with
Yeah.
cats. A lot of the
Yeah.
outfits that all you need is just like some ears or like some horns or something.
Right.
Those are, it's easy to be a mouse. It's easy
Yeah.
to be a cat.
Especially on a college budget. It's
That's
easy
it.
to throw together, right?
Yeah. I know a couple of my friends going out for Halloween this year. My one friend wants to be in a Ouija board. I feel like those are always
Oh, that's
fun.
unique.
Yeah, a lot of the times too, especially for with all the trends in like makeup, a lot of people are kind of just doing more makeup centric costumes. So for the Ouija board, my friend wants to do her whole face as the Ouija board with the triangle that like you move over her eye. I'm friends with a couple makeup artists,
Nice.
and they like doing like kind of like the slasher look where it looks like half their face is kind of peeling
Yeah.
off,
Or zombies.
or like zombies. Those are some really cool costumes
Sure.
with the makeup. You have a lot of creativity going into like designing a look like that.
Definitely. Are you a fan of hay rides?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I hate like being scared, but
Mhm.
I love going to like Creamy Acres. There's a place
Sure.
by me. I love like haunted hay rides.
Yeah.
I've been to the Eastern State Penitentiary
Oh,
before,
yeah.
where like you can actually like
They
get
take
grabbed
you,
there
right.
and like thrown in a cell. So I'm definitely a fan of some scary Halloween activities.
Yeah. I know locally around Galloway, there's the Scoville Fire Department. They put on a really good show at their hayride. They have a maze there as well. And they come out. They have the people with the
Oh,
chainsaws, and
classic.
yeah, it's definitely spooky. They do a good job there. So if you're local, if you live in Galloway or Egg Harbor Township, any of the surrounding areas, the Scoville Hayride's a really good place to check out. Um, yeah, I love hayrides. I haven't gone in a while though, but it's funny you mentioned the Eastern State Penitentiary because Stockton just did a trip there, which was
Mm-hmm.
really cool. I think the tickets were like $20. That's a pretty significant
Not bad
discount.
on a college budget.
Yeah, and you get bussed there, so I think that was pretty cool. But
What do you
yeah.
think are some trends in Halloween costumes that, aren't going away anytime soon that continue to be like a really good costume choice?
I think definitely superheroes
Mm-hmm.
fall into that category of not going away. I mean, Batman doesn't really come out with a movie a whole lot as much as like you would see the Marvel movies, but still, Batman still prevails. Every year, I think I see maybe like 20 in my neighborhood, you know?
Definitely like all the franchises that have kind of
Yeah.
established themselves, like
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars. You
Hmm.
see a lot of Darth Vaders every
Yep.
year, especially with the new movies. You're seeing um, more female opportunities for like Princess Leia with
Ray.
Rey.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple Padmes actually, which is
Sure.
pretty cool to see
Yeah.
like a little girl dressed up as Padme, and
Definitely.
her dad or mom's a Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I've seen a couple Daenerys Targaryens
Okay.
recently. I've seen a couple
Wow.
Jon Snows,
How
so it's
about
cool
that?
to see that there's still Game of Thrones coming around, even though the series is over.
Yeah.
Harry Potter's another timeless one.
That is for sure. I think you mentioned Game of Thrones, and that falls into a separate category of trends that are rising, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think for Halloween, I think we see a lot more clowns now, and that's due to movies like It
Mm-hmm.
being so popular.
The Joker as well that just came
Joker,
out. I
yeah,
feel like we'll see a lot of Jokers.
yeah,
Harley Quinn as well is
yep,
becoming a popular one too for girls.
definitely, yeah. And I think Spider-Man is also another one of those timeless costumes. People, you always see Spider people out there in the
Yeah.
world.
Fortnite as well. I've been seeing a lot of
Yeah,
Fortnite costumes, and they sell a lot more than the costumes. They sell like accessories to go along with it, like
right.
the pickaxes
Yeah,
and all that stuff, and the backpack. So it's if you have a franchise going around, you're kind of able to really promote longevity through toy sales, costume sales for Halloween,
definitely.
and definitely a lot of other marketing tools.
Yeah, I mean, I work at Target right now, and they just had their Halloween costume display set up, and I think that's going away soon. They're kind of getting ready to move into Christmas, which is just around the corner.
Just around the corner.
But I see a lot of like Descendants costumes. I know that movie's not really popular with maybe people our age, college students, but I think Disney really set something up there with those three Descendants movies, and kids love those costumes. They love those characters. So that's pretty interesting. And like you mentioned, Fortnite. There are a lot of Fortnite backpacks that are on sale
Mm-hmm.
and costumes too. So it's interesting how the media that comes out, the things that we can watch and play and see, also bleeds into our culture of Halloween costumes, things like that. Even decorations, Halloween decorations, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about. I mean, you have people that set up their homes with now you can do a Fortnite theme, you can do superhero themed things,
Yeah.
or you can go like old fashioned and be really scary, you know?
Yeah,
It's
I prefer a
interesting.
good old fashioned, some cobwebs in the corner,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe some
Some coffins on the
some
lawn,
coffins on the lawn, a couple
right?
tombstones. Can
Yeah,
even put I love the guy in the chair. Like you put like
yeah,
a scarecrow in the chair, kind of waiting out for everybody.
yeah.
I remember when I was younger, my dad used to answer the door in like a really scary mask,
Really?
and he'd actually scare away a couple kids every once in a while.
Really? That's funny. I have a neighbor who sets up his garage and does like strobe lights. So as you're walking in,
Oh.
it's really creepy. They do a good job. But there's so much. There's Halloween's just a great time, you know.
It was a great time. It's
But
probably one of my favorite holidays.
yeah.
I also am a big Christmas guy.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I think Christmas is definitely more my speed.
When do you think is a good time for people to start setting up their Christmas decorations? Because I've seen some Christmas decorations, and Personally, I feel like it's a little early.
Yeah,
I think I like the first week in November is a good time for
I
you to
think
start
so.
pushing Christmas, in my
I
opinion. Just
yeah.
because spooky season, it's dedicated from this time. Christmas can wait. It has a whole nother month.
It's true. I think arguably Christmas lasts a little bit longer too,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
I think a good time for you to put your Christmas decorations out is right after Thanksgiving. I think that's solid.
A lot of people don't like to wait
No, a
that
lot of
long,
people do
though.
it way earlier, for sure. I know people who have their Christmas decorations up all year round, which I think is a little
Really?
crazy. But
That's a little crazy.
I mean, think about your electric bill too.
Oh, yeah.
Probably through the roof. But that was a good discussion about Halloween. I think we'll wrap it up there. Colton will hopefully be back with us next week. Looking forward to that.
Always a good time when Colton Van Cleve is in the house.
Yeah, and we'll see you soon.
Have a great weekend. Have a safe and fun Halloween, and we'll talk to you guys next week.